G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in over on the southeast side of the map, we've got Leenock. Going to be playing the Holy Roman Empire for us today, starting us off with a prelate. Going to be heading straight into 4 villages and beginning to scout up his base and take a look for some sheep. We'll take a look over the other side of the map and see who we've got spawning in. It is, of course, Hera, who is going to be playing the Mongols for us today. Now, the map that we are on is a French pass, so no French to be seen on French pass, but we do, as always, have these large passes towards the center of the map. Now, you guys want to know something? Back in the old days, the closed beta, so I think this was back in, like, July. Now, I'm pretty sure all that stuff was covered by NDA. It's not covered by NDA anymore. So this map was one of the 4 maps that you had access to. You had, like, 4 maps. I think it was like Boulder Bay, French Pass, Hillendale, and Dry Arabia. I'm pretty sure that was it. Anyway, on this map, sometimes you would get like these weird cracks that would spawn in the mountains, and you could pass through them. And it would give you like a massive advantage if you could have one. Because obviously if you've got a crack, then you can control it. So you could potentially stonewall it up. But what would happen is, like, let's say you had a crack right here from your town center over to the middle gold mine. Well, it'd be really easy because your opponent would try and wall you in down here to the south, wall you in up here to the north, and then you'd be like, oh, that's fine, I'm just gonna go through the middle then. And you just get through the middle, and then your enemy would be stuck, and sometimes they would get a crack. It would just be very difficult to deal with, but obviously that's been fixed up now, so you do not see those cracks anymore around here. A little bit of a sheep mistake right there from Hera. He misses that one as Leenock picks it up. But yeah, you don't see those cracks anymore, at least not like you used to. You obviously still get stuff like this that occurs, and sometimes you get hunts that spawn on top of them. Like we've got this hunt that kind of spawns up here, but this is all fine and dandy. Nowhere near what it used to be like. So we'll take a look at and see what these players are up to. Leenock going to be heading out towards gold. So actually going to be opening up with... Wait, where is all of his gold right now? Leenock... Oh, of course. I thought he was playing the Chinese. You know, I see Leenock and I just assume he's playing the Chinese. You know, he's similar to me. He loves the Chinese. It's very typical for us sort of Zerg players. At least if I remember correctly, Leenock is a Zerg player. It's been so long since I've watched him play StarCraft 2. I just remember back in the day, so I used to be a Zerg player and I was a big fan of him. So I can only imagine he was a Zerg player. But yes, us Zerg players, we love to play China. Just because you can get that big villager lead that the Zerg used to be able to get with the drones, so we can sort of role play through that. But now we've actually got some villager transitioning happening right now. Bit of a mana transfer, and going to be coming out now, moving a lot of these villagers out towards this gold. What is he doing with this? This is huge. I like this play, actually. This is pretty smart. So he's got enough food in the bank to continue training villagers. This is going to give him enough food completely to be able to... Or he's going to have enough trickle of food to continue making villages. So he's going to be fine there. He won't go idle. He's got 11 villages on gold. I'm assuming... Is he just going to be... So will he gather up 600 gold? Is that what he's thinking? No, he's going to drop down the Arkan Chapel. So 9 villagers now moving towards the Arkan Chapel. Look, Leenock, I'll be honest with you. This doesn't look like a particularly thought out build. It kind of looks like you got a bit, not scared necessarily, but it definitely seems like you got to be working on that villager movement. Normally in the early game, it's best to keep your villagers not moving around. So you don't want to be taking them from gold or from food rather than march them all the way out to gold. You kind of want to get your build order like all in the same direction, if that makes sense. So you got to try and calculate. You say like, okay, what's my timing going to be? And like, as an example, if you're going for professional scouts, like it looks like you might be doing, then you have to work to that timeline, and you have to kind of reverse engineer it. You say, okay, I want to get professional scouts. Now what do I have to do to get up at this time and make it the earliest I possibly can? And putting 9 on the landmark is probably not the most efficient way, but Leenock now going to be up at 4:15, which is bloody early. But who knows? Maybe he's like thought of something. Maybe this is the new meta for the Holy Roman Empire, because you got to think about it, right? Now his prelate is going to be able to inspire absolutely everybody. He's got his villagers over on the right side of his town center. He's going to be able to buff those ones up. He's got villagers on the wood line here as well. He did opt to a starting wood line over here, but then obviously realized, well, hold on a minute, I've got a gold mine here. I can place my Arkan Chapel here. So this is like, honestly, this is a 10 out of 10 Arkan Chapel. He's also going to be able to buff up this as well. This is ludicrous. If he placed this mill like right there, then he would have got 100% buffs. So that is a 10 out of 10 Arkan Chapel. Gonna have the stable going down, probably looking towards that professional scouts as soon as possible. We'll take a look over at his opponent. We'll see exactly what Hera is doing. Hera going for his patented, I think he calls this the Silver Trade build, or the Silver Trade Boom. I can't remember. I saw a comment on my YouTube, and it was like, oh, good to see Hera trying this one out. He was trying this all day, and he lost all of his games. So glad to see he's finally winning with this. So going up with the Silver Tree and going to be doing a fair bit of trade. Now, we have seen many Mongol strategies, and this is going to be one of my favorites. So he's doing what Doubt sort of pioneered initially. So moving the Silver Tree over onto the Uvu, going to begin double production of those traders, and not really going to be going for professional scouts. He doesn't really need it. You can see that he's got the Gur down towards here. But interestingly, I would say that the Mongols are probably a civilization that doesn't always have to go professional scouts because of the Gur. So typically, like, let's say the Holy Roman Empire. Let's say they go put a mill down on this deer for whatever reason. And by the way, this deer seems, you know what? This patch of deer seems so much further away from Lee Nock than the deer patch from Hera, but I guess Hera's moved his town center, so I guess there's always that bonus. But yeah, so with the Holy Roman Empire, obviously if they come and place a mill down here, and you do some form of early aggression, you push them off it, or if professional scouts comes out and you steal their hunt, well, then they're going to have wasted resources on that mill. But for the Mongols, well, they're going to Gur. And so it's like, oh, well, I can't, like, if you come in here and steal these deer, well, that's fine. They'll just go somewhere else. They'll just go over here. They'll just put it in the wood line. Like, it's not a big deal for them. Speaking of big deals, though, Hera's already got 3 Gurs out at this point, so that is quite a lot of Gurs. I'm going to be real with you guys. That is quite a fair bit. But now up towards the north, Hera is beginning the trade. Needs to get his Khan up here. Khan at the moment over in the base of his opponent. A couple of horsemen out already for the Holy Roman Empire player, Lee Nock. And I've got to say, if you could pick the aesthetics for any horseman, I would pick the Holy Roman Empire aesthetics. I reckon they are some of the best looking horsemen. I just love the way that their coat sort of extends over it. So every civ's got different aesthetics when it comes to their units. Not all of the units look the same, but in my opinion, the Holy Roman Empire, they are definitely S-tier horsemen when it comes to how they look. 2 more horsemen going to be coming out here, and we see the professional scouts ferrying the deer away of his opponent. Lee Nock going to be scouting out the traders for Hera as well, but Hera's traders have just kind of paused for a second. 97 gold going to be coming back here for Hera's traders, so he's going to be pretty happy. Khan actually going to be going down, but keep in mind, Hera spotted, or Lee Nock rather, spotted that out, and I suspect he's probably going to be moving over here already to begin the pressure in the early game, and indeed, that's what we see. So managing to pick up that hunt, going to be taking that away, and also going to be harassing the traders of Hera. So I'd like to see from Hera some Mangudai, and that's exactly what we've got. Now, normally what you want to do is save a bit of stone for your first 2 Mangudai. There we go. Okay, perfect. And so you want to sort of use them to build up the batch, or begin building up the batch, if that makes sense. And so because Mangudai, the way that they stack, typically you want to have, like, start off with a nice little mass of them. You want to sort of get the double going out early. So now we've got those traders coming back in full ball. You see 106 gold in there for them. So plenty of resources going to be coming back towards Hera. So if he can maintain his strength throughout this early game and actually hold on to this, I don't think he will lose this game. So that's what it's all going to be about. But very curiously, he's put down this the outpost, but he's kind of put them down on the wrong spot. But by the same token, it looks like they're actually still going to be able to cover his traders. Now going to be spotting out more of those horsemen coming in as well. Horsemen up towards the north. Mangudai trying to clean that up. One of the traders going to be going down. Second trader going to be going down. Needs to have these outposts on the trade line itself, because then that you can actually garrison inside of that. But now we've got more and more horsemen going to be coming in here. Villager going to be careful. Manages to get inside. Mangudai going to be looking to convert and manage to take out one of those horsemen. So now, losing 2 horsemen, Hera has managed to take out from his opponent. We'll check in with Lee Nock, see how he's doing. Going to be aging up, dropping down that Regnitz Cathedral any second. There it is, going to be going down. And how are the relic spawns for him? He's got one up to the north. Hera's got one to the north. We've got one in the middle of the map, which is a neutral spawn, one down to the south of Lee Nock's base, and one somewhat to the front of Hera's base. So, look, overall, I would definitely give the relic advantage over to Lee Nock, but it is pretty balanced. I think either civilization would be happy with these spawns. Definitely not as unfavored as we sometimes get, and both of those horsemen managing to survive, albeit on 1 and 10 HP respectively. So they're going to have a bit of a tough time. Mangudai are going to be shutting down the raids up towards the north. And now, so let's talk a little bit about what we can expect in the mid-game. So first relic probably going to be taken from Leenock, and the second one over towards the sacred site. He'll clean this one up as well, so he should be able to easily get his 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually extends that out a little bit further. Now, he could look to wall in his opponent here as well, but I suspect we're going to have the silver tree moving very shortly, probably going to be heading down towards the bottom left-hand corner of Hera's base, but you can already see that gold income beginning to trend rather up. He's still got 6 villagers on gold, and this is always a curious decision. Whenever I sort of get my traders rolling as the Mongols, I'm like, well, hold on a minute. I don't need villagers on gold anymore. So hopefully he goes with the Kurultai rather than going up with the Step Redoubt, which we've seen some players do. Doubt. The greed is good. Yes, it is. But now we've got Hera managing to get out some pretty good outpost coverage. This one manages to cover all the way in, all the way out up until here. This next one is going to be able to pick them up as they're coming in. And then that finally... Well, I don't know if they're going to have enough. Ideally, Hera should have one more outpost that's right here, just providing that YAM network to these starting traders. So ideally, you just want to make sure that the YAM network is going to be provided for them. But now you can see YAM network, it may drop off this trader. Yes, it has. So it lasts for 20 seconds after you leave the coverage. So you can see there 20 seconds. So there is the coverage. And then it begins down to here, and then so that becomes, that's your 20-second mark. So ideally, Hera wants to place one more outpost in here. That would really help him out. Even just here would be perfectly fine. But now he's going to be thinking about getting up to the next stage. We'll take a look how he's doing. He's got more and more traders. Got the double batch in coming after the single batch. A little bit of a mistake there from Hera, but that's okay. That is all right because he is playing the long game. Mangadai going to be coming in for a raid. He's got, Leenock's rather got no idea about it. He does pick up that first relic. Going to be taking it back. 300 gold a minute in his pocket. We'll take a look down towards the south. Professional scouts obviously going to be picking up those, and Mangadai going to be looking to secure up a prelate kill here. Leenock not really paying attention. That's okay. Sometimes, it picked up the relic and then dropped it down. So he's going to be losing gold in the meantime because he's got to actually come back now. Okay, there's a second prelate, so hopefully that shouldn't be too hard for him. We've got the knights now coming out for his opponent, so Leenock going to be pretty decent. Mangadai have got 8 attack. The knights have got 5 ranged armor, so they're going to be mitigating a significant amount. What does it work out to be? 62.5% of the attack of the Mangadai, but Hera going to be aging up very shortly. We can suspect that he's probably going up. Indeed he is. Kurultai now going to be dropped down 15 villagers. And he's probably going to be looking for the veteran upgrade. Could potentially get the Sihabo limbs as well. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hold on. Let me try one more time. Sihabo limbs. Because Mongols have got quite a fair bit of Chinese influence, obviously very close to the border. Language is absolutely nowhere near the same, but when it comes to the pronunciation, it's pretty similar, at least from what I've heard. We've got those veteran Mangadai going to be coming in now, and Hera's trade really looking to boom right now. He's sitting at plenty of gold coming in. How much gold a minute is that? 1,200 gold a minute right now. A lot of traders out on about 21 in total for him, so he's going to be feeling good. Kurultai going to be moving up towards the north. I would expect that he'd be looking to clean up these relics as well, if he is paying attention. We'll have to spot whether he does that. A couple pastures going down for him as well. So we'll take a look at his opponent, see exactly what he spots. Nothing out towards the middle just yet. Prelate is coming out towards this southern flank and probably going to be picking up this relic here. At least that's what I would think. We'll have to see exactly how he plays it. Now, Leenock actually hasn't discovered the relic in the middle, so that's why he's not going to be going for it. He's going to be instead taking the one down the bottom, and you can see he's applying pressure at the same time that he is going to pick up that relic, so he doesn't want to lose his prelate. Now, he obviously spots the Mangadai on the opposite side of the map. We can see they've got 11 damage now, but plenty of raids coming through here. Leenock definitely going for a fast Imperial behind this as well, and I love this from Leenock. This is a very smart play, and this is part of the reason why Holy Roman Empire, in my opinion, are an underrated civ, especially on maps like this. It's because they are so easily able to pull off their win condition. So I often talk about this as sort of like the Exodia for the Holy Roman Empire. If you can get 3 relics in the Regnitz, and then you can combine that. We've got a Mangonel going to be coming out right now for Leenock as well. So thinking about the second, or the fourth age rather. Jeez, took me some time there. But also going to be thinking about getting out some siege. And now we've got crossbows coming out as well. I've got to say, I love these Holy Roman Empire units. So the gold pants coming out here, they kind of look a little bit like the Landsknecht, but obviously they are holding giant crossbows instead. But the knights are doing very well. He's actually got +2 ranged armor for them. So the town center, you can see how little damage it's going to be doing to these knights. We'll watch as the health of it goes down. Only going to be doing 2 damage. So I guess that answers the question as to how much damage the town center does. It is 8 per arrow. And obviously it shoots out like a machine gun. You got 20 inside there, but it's only going to work out to 40 damage per volley that they managed to shoot off. And Hera going to be losing quite a few traders here, so we'll take a look at the trade route. He's actually lost 33% off his trade route at the moment. That Knight going to continue working away at it. Mangadai now going to be coming out and managing to save that last trader, so sitting at 15 traders at the moment. Kurultai up towards the north, still just hanging out, not minding, not doing too much. Uvu getting depleted. Prelate got to be moving back with that relic as well, but we do have age 4 coming in now for Lee Nock. He is definitely on the Exodia hype train here. Going to be aging up at 15 minutes. A great time for him. So this is pretty much the standard build order. Like if I was going to do a tick of things that are like coming in the build order for the Holy Roman Empire, it would be like Professional Scouts, tick. 3 relics, tick. Palace of Swabia, tick. And then, like, what do they do in the late game, though? That's my question. Like, what's the composition that they go for? Because we see they don't really have, like, that main unit that they go. They obviously an infantry-based civilization, but ideally, you're going to be looking to mass something other than that in the late game. Obviously, mangonels are pretty strong now, so it's best to try and avoid, you know, building up too much of an infantry mass. So who knows whether we see some potential... Actually, this is a curious decision. Why has he brought it this way? He might actually discover the next relic as well, but his scout is, or his prelate, going to be under a little bit of threat here. He's got reinforcements coming, so he should be fine. But we see that the carcasses are still being ferried back and forth, and this is what's just so strong about Professional Scouts. It's basically a food income, or a secure food income for the remainder of the game. Well, not the remainder of the game, but at least the first 16, 17 minutes of the game. Down towards the south, we've got the Mangadai that are moving in towards the Palace of Swabia town center. He's going to spot that one, and he's going to know exactly what his opponent is up to. The Mongol Khan going to be providing a lot of line of sight, and those arrows coming out and firing into oblivion. So doing a great job there. Hera now really in a great position. He's got 4,500 resources in the bank at the moment. Mongol Khan going to continue just firing off ever so annoyingly at these villagers and say, nope, no gold for you. Now, Leonok going to be putting away that third relic very, very shortly. We do see it coming around the prelate. So he's going to be sitting up on that 900 gold a minute. Wouldn't be surprised if he looks towards these sacred sites as well. He's got quite a decent mass in towards the middle of the map, but I'm not sure if he realizes that the crossbowmen aren't particularly effective against the Mangadai, but I guess it would probably be the same way around. Mangadai wouldn't be particularly effective against the crossbows, so I'd probably say it's quite an even fight when you consider the resources traded. Maybe even the crossbows probably even pull ahead, but we'll have to see exactly how they play out and what he looks to go for. We'll check his upgrades and see what he's getting. He's going for siege works, so really looking to go crazy on the siege, it seems. And we hear players exchanging words. We can't see it, obviously, but there are rumors. And I will tell you guys now, there are rumors, and when I say rumors, I've got almost pretty good validation of this, that we are going to be having replay files coming in very soon. And so this has come through in the most recent patch. A little bit, yeah, it's come through from one of my friends. So not an inside source. He's actually done the data mining for it, but effectively we have got replay files that should be coming in very soon, and we should be able to see chat. They're going to be also, hopefully, overhauling the UI as well, but we'll see exactly how we go. That I'm not sure what timing that is going to be, whether that's going to be something in the new year. It could be for the what is it, the winter update I think that they're doing, or is it the spring update? I think it might be the spring. We just had the winter update, so yeah, so potentially we may see that for the spring update, so who knows. Stay tuned. But current resources at the moment, you can see Hera is sitting up on a significant amount of resources. He's just aged up to the next age, so going up with the White Stupa, I can only assume. Dropping it down there, it is the White Stupa, so going to be buffing up all these units in its radius, or all these buildings in its radius, and now Hera really going ham. He's got 8 stables coming down with an archery range, going up to early horse, or from early horseman or up to horseman, so spotting the crossbows from his enemy. These are elite crossbows now coming out, 18 range damage with plus 11 versus heavy, and Leonok looking to put on the damage right now as he pushes in towards the silver tree, and then just backs out, because he doesn't know what is coming for him. But Silver Tree actually getting packed up and moved. What is this Silver Tree doing? Silver Tree, you're heading in the wrong direction, my friend. Silver Tree, you got to be coming down here. This is where the Silver Tree's got to go. Where is he? He's just putting it back towards a safer spot. All right, fair enough then. You do you, Hera. I ain't gonna hate. I mean, even with this, like, this is suboptimal, okay? When I talk about suboptimal, you know, I'm talking in a hypothetical world where you could potentially get your Silver Tree down to here. it is suboptimal. But we're still talking about, you know, how much is he dropping off? 89 gold a drop off. Like, this, hey, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's it's suboptimal considering the circumstances. I would still take that any day of the week. That is an absolutely beautiful trade. 3.2k gold now coming in for Hera. He is looking very fine, very fly. Needs a lot more pastures though. At the moment, sitting on 6 pastures, and this game, it definitely feels a little bit like a no-rush game. You guys ever play no-rush games? So, in Age of Empires 3, they're called treaty games. I remember back in the day, we used to have them. Geez, you know what? This game, I've been talking a lot about back in the day, haven't I? I've been giving you guys a lot of old, like, stories from back in the day. So, back in my day, like, I'm talking 2007, 2008, they didn't actually have the treaty mode in Age of Empires 3, which is like a formal 40-minute treaty between players where you can't attack each other. So you just had to kind of agree with people that you were going to do it. And so when I was like a little shitter, me and my friend, his name was, I'm not even kidding you, it was Swift Viper. So not the Viper, Swift Viper. That was back before the Viper was even a thought in the minds of us. But we used to play no-rush games, and then we would rush in them, and it was so much fun. That was how we got our victories back then in the day. Obviously, we started picking up our skills, but it was definitely one of those things that it took a bit of time. I remember we played against this one guy, and he scouted us out with the rush, and he prepared, and he like 2v1'd us on the... Oh my god, the map was Sonara. Oh, that was a good game. It wasn't a good game. It was a bad game. We got owned. I think there was a lot of shit talking as well. But they were the days. But now we've got Hera that continues to build up towards that mass. We can see that his production is looking pretty good. He's actually going for mass archers at this point in time. So realizing that his opponent is going full crossbows. Leenock actually going for the university. So what kind of techs are we thinking about? Probably incendiary arrows for him. Going to be dropping down a lot of infrastructure himself, so you can see he's got the 8 archery ranges. Going basically full crossbows at this point. Getting out some mangonels. He's got the springald out as well, and we see the culverin also coming out for him. Khan going to be down here, looking to get a little bit of damage, and movement speed arrow going to be coming off here. He's trying his best to get out of here. He realizes he's in a bit of trouble, but the Khan does go down. Now that gold mine is going to be exhausted, so part of the reason why on this map you've got to be looking to move towards the middle is because your gold runs out. So that was the second gold mine. The first gold mine, we remember, it was sitting up here towards the Arkan Chapel, and now it is a difficult spot for him because he has got to move out onto the map, and that exposes him. So we talked about that earlier with the little pathways through. You sometimes were able to do that. Speaking of pathways through, there's still a sheep there. He just needs to find a pathway home. But now his Leenock is going to be pushing out. Hera probably going to be anticipating this and looking to counter it. We've got elite archers out for Hera. I'd love to see some mangonels out for Hera as well here. He's sitting on 101 villagers. We'll compare that over to Leenock, who sits on 106. So pretty even when it comes to their economy. Both players have boomed their absolute hearts out in this game. Both heading up to the fast Imperial. Hera not really fast, but still an Imperial timing. And a little bit of a mix and match right now. Leenock going to be pushing out with the prelates up towards the north of the map. I would hope that he begins to wall in his opponent as well. So typically with stone walls, they're very effective at walling yourself in, also very effective at walling in your opponent. So, you know, you can always do that. We've got a castle going to be going down for Leenock, or as they are now known, the keep going to be going down. And a couple more villagers heading towards the middle. So he's looking to secure this up. Mangadai going to be going down and definitely going to be aware that his enemy is now pushing in towards this central location. Plenty of villagers out here. What kind of upgrades have we got? We got 2 out of 3. Not too bad. Got the, we do have the incendiary arrows coming through now for the elite crossbowmen. So they're doing 22 damage a pop. That's not too bad, is it? Like, when you think about it, 22 raw damage. Like, they've only got 95 health. Like, they 5-shot the enemy crossbows. They 5-shot the archers. Archers have actually only got 10 health, or 10 attack, rather. And, you know, that really compounds well when you think about it with regard to the armor. So these guys are only going to be doing 8 damage against themselves, whereas these guys are going to be doing 19 damage against themselves. So now we've got the both of the sacred sites being taken here. Second one up towards the north, probably going to be denied out here by a couple of elite archers. And Hera looking to come in, do a bit of damage. He's got to be careful. There is a mangonel back there. At least there was one. There's one with 2 culverin, 2 bombards, a springald, and a dash of sugar and a dash of salt, because he's just got absolutely everything in this cake mix of a match right now. And Sacred Site going to continue ticking down. We see that the enemy is approaching the Sacred Site victory Incendiary arrows coming in for him, so up to 12 damage. Now, does he only have +2? Let's have a look and see what his upgrades are. He's only got +2, so he's going to be looking for +3 now. So that'll take him up to 13 damage. But with incendiary arrows, that might push it up to 14, because that's a percentage based, and it does stack afterwards. After those flat upgrades, it applies the percentage. So we'll have to have a look and see exactly how much damage it's going to do, but going to be sitting pretty close now towards max population, 200 out of 200 for both players. Leenock with a significant advantage when it comes to the resources in the bank. Hera with an advantage when it comes to the score. We'll have to see how these players manage to go. Another keep going to be going down towards the sacred site, down towards the south. Prelate just hanging out in the middle, just got the, just holding on to the relic, just chilling out. A lot of Springwoods coming out right now for Hera as well. Now, has he got the upgrades for these bad boys? He's got only 10 range on them, so I would love to see him come through with the upgrades. So what are those upgrades that we're talking about? So we're talking about the improved, so you can actually get it from here, the improved roller shutter triggers. So that is what I would love to see him be going for. He's got the first roller shutter triggers, which will give him 12 range. That'll increase it up to 13 range. Bombards and Culverin going to be going off. He's got to be careful. Those mangonel shots getting off, landing on the front line. There's 3 mangonels here. Springle's managing to take them out. The Springwoods themselves are going to be having a tough time, but all they care about is taking out and focusing down those mangonels. We see the horsemen running down over towards it as well. Attacks going off on the back line. Mangonel still managing to survive at the moment, getting a pretty decent shot there. You can see the health points at the moment from Hera's units is very, very low, but Hera at the moment has got a significantly smaller army than his opponent, as the Mangonite, actually we've got a veteran horseman raid now at the moment in Hera's base. He's got to be careful, or rather in Leenock's base. Leenock got to be careful here. He may lose villagers. 111 villagers at the moment, looking to be picked up. The crossbows are, so they got to be careful as well. And now towards the north of his base, he's also getting attacked by horsemen. So Leenock is getting raided by the very famous horseman raids, or scout raids rather, of Hera. So now Hera is getting pushed back. We see this relic holding here. So in the event there's any melee units in here, the relic is going to be able to, unless the relic moves forward like this. Is he gifting this relic over? Prelate, what are you doing? he donates the relic. He says, here you go, friend. One on the house. Hands it over. And now we've got ourselves a little bit of a push in towards the mountain. A lovely little choke point here. Bombards are firing their best on the back line, but still it's not going to be too much. Consider that the crossbows are going to be very effective against the lancers that Hera is pumping out right now. Hera needs to switch from lancers over to horsemen. They're going to be a lot more effective against this composition. And now coming in towards the choke point. This is a pretty good choke point. I don't know why he doesn't hold here, but Leenock actually getting forced back at this point. Pretty decent damage coming in from Hera right now, and doing a pretty good job of cleaning up. I thought the crossbows would have done a lot better. Well, they do have a slower rate of fire, though. That is something to remember. So even though they've got a nice attack damage, they've got a slower rate of fire. They're going to be trying their best. They're going to be soaking so much damage, though, these knights. So that's actually a pretty nice move from Hera to be mixing those in instead of horsemen. So I take that back. You can keep making your knights, or your lancers, rather. I do agree with it. But now we've got those reinforcements going to be coming in from Leenock as well. Keep in mind, there is a castle here. Hera going to be doing his best to continue picking off the siege of his enemy. We can see that the bombard remains. It's got a lot of health left on it. Only 15 armor. The elite archer is going to be doing 13 damage a pop, and you can see them slowly burning that down. And now the archer is going to continue to move through. We'll take a look at the production of Hera, and you can see how many units he's got in the queue. 18 production buildings at the moment. We'll have a look over at Leenock and see what he is looking at. So Leenock at the moment, 19 production buildings in the queue. A lot of it hand cannoneers and lancers. So he's really looking to tech towards that gold heavy composition. Obviously, he's playing the Holy Roman Empire, so he's got access to those 3 relics. Going to be pumping out 300 gold a minute for him, so he's going to be fine. The second keep going to be coming down towards this south sacred site, and Leenock definitely looking like he may be holding as the push begins to peter out for Hera here. Hera obviously has the reinforcements coming in, a nice little relic on the front line. He can always pick that one up and use it towards a gold advantage. But these archers are definitely trading very effectively against the crossbows of Leenock. I did like his blind crossbows, but at the same time, you sort of got to scratch your head and wonder exactly what the plan is behind that. We've got more archery rangers coming down on the front line, and Hera's push looking like it might be pretty strong. No boiling oil yet for Leenock at this stage. No springwood emplacements, no weapon emplacements, or cannon emplacements rather, for him, but he still is going to be able to hold here. But it looks like bombards are now going to be coming out for Hera, so Hera is going to be able to begin pushing towards this sacred site. Now, I don't know what the timer is for this sacred site victory. We can see it ticking down, but we are going to hear the gongs when they do go off that will indicate us when there's 3 minutes left towards that sacred site victory, and that's when we can really start to pay attention. We've been seeing more and more players going for these sacred site victories, and now it seems like it has really become a popular thing to be looking for, as multiple Castles get thrown down on these sacred sites. We've got reinforcing mangonels going to be coming in as well. Leenock sitting on 155 population, so not looking strong right now. He needs to get a better wood economy, better food economy at this point, but really having a bit of a difficult time getting it all together. What kind of upgrades has he got? Has he got plus 3? No, oh my god, he's only got tier 1. No wonder he doesn't have any food right now. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget fertilization. You've got horticulture, but don't forget fertilization. Don't forget, what's the third tier called? It's something like, it's not mechanized. I'm thinking like mechanized granary. No, it's nothing like that. But now we've actually got Double Siege Workshop going to be coming down towards the west part of the map, somewhat hidden away in the corner here. But still, they're going to be able to pump out plenty of units. You can see he's got all the resources in the bank. Hand Cannon is doing a pretty decent job. I'd love to see him switch into a bit more of a siege-based composition. So this is definitely the right choice. Maybe a couple of Springalds with the roller shutter triggers wouldn't actually be too bad here. 12 range would enable them to trade out pretty well with the Springalds of his opponent. Now, keep in mind, he does have access to the Culverin, but the Culverin, obviously, a little bit more difficult to control. You need to have villagers on the front line if you are going to have that Culverin, whereas the Springalds, you can just kind of throw those away. So it's a little bit different, but now we've got the Bombard that continues to work its way through the keep. Villagers here doing their best. 18 villagers healing that one up. Leenock slowly running out of wood. You can see it, but it is obviously being replenished here. He's got 107 villagers at the moment, which is definitely no short amount of villagers, but obviously a fair few of them are idled, tied up somewhat towards this. But now the Sacred Site's continuing to tick, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a little bit. Yep, there's the Culverin coming out right now. Look at that, 2 health points left on that. The Culverin going to be doing its best, managing to take out that Bombard. No, it doesn't. With 2 health remaining, it manages to survive, and Leenock got to be careful right now as the Horsemen move forward. The Mangonel shots coming out, and oh my lord, so many Mangonels right now for Leenock. This is exactly the composition that I wanted to see from him. Big, heavy siege coming out right now, and we hear those gongs going off. We got 3 minutes until Sacred Site victory. Leenock looking pretty strong. Double Bombard, double Culverin, quintuple, what's sextuple Mangonels? That's a lot of Mangonels coming out right now. He can't really push into this position. The Men-at-Arms, rather, the Hand Cannoneers are going to be doing their best to hold a nice little front line here. Elite Archers on the back line. He needs to get these Bombards firing off. He needs to be making sure that he's focusing down the buildings. The Mangonels moving forward. If he can get a decent shot on the back here, Hera's going to be in trouble. We see it going down. The heals, though, are going to be coming through, and Mangonels actually doing a great job of pushing back those archers, and at the same time we've got reinforcements coming through. I think, is that a cannon emplacement on this outpost? No, it's a Springald emplacement on this outpost, but Leenock looking pretty good with this composition here, and the Hand Cannoneers managed to survive and really tank it up. We've now got the landmark going to be going down for Hera. Keep in mind, we did hear that 3-minute gong going off, so there's 2 minutes now that remain for his opponent. Hera has got to get in there. He's got to try and make something work, but at the same time he's fighting between 2 castles. He's tried his best to get these up, and we hear that 2-minute gong going off, and up towards the north it looks like Hera is making a little bit of an outpost push, but more rather just defensive outposts. I think we can see that they've got some emplacements on them. So this one, I think, has just got arrow slits in placement, but now Hera is sitting on 4k stone at this point. He could be getting a lot of units out with that, but now the Mangonel is going to be moving out as well, as with all the siege. Hand Cannoneers on the back line. It's the wrong position for the Mangonel. Is actually going to be in a bit of a difficult spot. It looks like Hera might potentially be able to push in. We've got reinforcements coming in, but a lot of the units on the back line have gone down. I apologize for missing that. Mangonel's going to be able to fire those off, but now it looks like Leenock actually going to be able to clean up this position. I don't think this is going to be Hera's game, unfortunately, as Hera looks like his entire army's been cleaned up. He's got only the Khan, and Hera taps out. Ladies and gentlemen, Leenock has proved that the Holy Roman Empire is indeed holy, indeed Roman, and indeed an empire. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out Hera. I'll leave a link in the description over towards his YouTube, and I will catch you guys in the next one.